Astra Travelers, and welcome to a very merry episode of Tales of Teyvat, a Genshin Lore Podcast. This week, in preparation for the holidays, we're going to be looking at what some of our favorite characters would do during select holiday situations. But before we jump into it, we just wanted to take a moment to announce the winners of our Welkin Moon giveaway. Thank you to everyone who participated, and we are so excited to share in some of the holiday joy and spirit with each of you. Congratulations to our Instagram winners, iCloudJump and Rochelle TT. And congratulations to our Twitter winners, Faultline and You Can Stay. You all will be getting a notification on either Instagram or Twitter that we've commented that you won. Please shoot us a DM so we can message you and get everything settled.
Congrats, motherfuckers!
Yay!
Woo! Now, back to some of our holiday headcanons. Before we started this episode, I created 5 separate holiday scenarios that can fit just about every character in this game. I'm going to ask one of my co-hosts to pick a character, any character from the game, and then I'm going to read a prompt featuring that character and maybe a guest character or two. From there, we're going to have like 5 to 10 minutes to figure out what that character would do in the situation, and then expand upon how other characters may also react to the situation and what type of domino effect it might have. Because you never know what's happening in Teyvat. I'm hoping we'll be able to get through all of our scenarios, but minimally we're going to get through 3. So let's get started. Al, pick a character.
We going with my baby girl, Jean.
Jean.
My love.
Okay. Jean gets sick on Christmas Eve with a horrible fever and starts to have wicked fever dreams and hallucinations.
I know where this is going.
It was Babs. She poisoned her. I knew it would happen eventually.
Jean ends up leaving the Knights of Favonius holiday party early, and Kaya volunteers to take care of Jean, leaving the holiday party early as well. Kaya starts to get concerned when Jean wakes up, clearly still in a feverish trance, rambling on about her life and her relationship with Kaya. What happens?
I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
So Jean gets sick during the party. She leaves, and then Kaya goes with her.
Yeah, Kaya, like 10 minutes later, goes up to like Lisa and is like, you know what, Lisa, I'm gonna go check on Jean. She didn't seem like she was doing too hot.
1 out of fucking character for Kaya. No, he did not. He's drunk off his ass already. He is the one who needs help.
He's not in this situation. He's
Okay.
sober enough to go take care of Jean.
Kaya is not.
Or is he sober enough?
Oh, he's not sober at all.
Is he ever really sober? I mean,
He is not attracted to Jean. No.
That's fine.
He likes blondes.
Relationship could be any type of relationships. You know, their friendship, their work relationship, but Jean is rambling on about it.
So she wakes up the next morning, you said?
No, this is like the middle of the night. She wakes up like in the middle of the night. Kaya's there, like, I don't know, reading or, you know, putting like a wet cloth on her head. I don't know what they do.
I don't know
just
what
like
people do
gets
to
an
take care of each other.
icicle and just like puts it on top of her. Like, this will cool you down. Like, you're good. You're good.
You know what else will cool you down? My butt.
What?
Wow.
He's cryo.
Yeah, he's got a cold ass.
He's just sitting on her.
He's sitting on her.
This as a cold
Absolutely.
compress.
She wakes up and his butt is on her forehead.
It's like, look, I had to do it, man. You're my boss. I have to take care of you.
Let me expand upon what happened. So Jean is now rambling on about Kaya and what a good worker he is and how like she remembers him when he was young and like when he first like came to Mondstadt. Kaya's getting like a little flush himself, being like, oh God, this is weird. But Jean is like on fire. So Kaya sits next to her because his body temperature is cooler. This is all inspired by you guys, by the way. So when there's no butt, but he's like sitting next to her to cool her off. She falls
It's
back.
true. He really doesn't have a butt.
He's very flat in that department. But Kaya then falls asleep. And D-Luke comes up to check on Jean, hearing from Lisa at the end of the party what happened. Now, D-Luke's at the party only on business. He's not a knight, so he's not invited for those reasons.
Oh, yeah. Business. Sure.
So D-Luke now walks in and Kaya and Jean are asleep in the bed together.
Nah, here's what really happens.
Uh-oh.
Kaya falls asleep. Jean is still talking, is still rambling because she's so feverish, and it's like, oh my god, you're just a good bud, like whatever. And she doesn't realize he's fucking gone.
Kaya's gone?
He ran away?
No, that he's like, passed out asleep.
Oh.
He's still rambling and like being so appreciative, and he's like drunk stupor.
And then D-Luke walks in on that.
Yeah. Just like, Kaya, you're a good friend. He's like drunk as fuck. She's sweating, but also not because Kaya's right there.
I feel like D-Luke would feel like surprisingly hurt.
Yes.
Okay.
He'd want to be on that lap, man.
So now Jean notices D-Luke in the doorway. She doesn't know that Kaya's asleep still, but she sees D-Luke walk in.
She's like, oh, D-Luke, come join us. I don't know. But like, she'd obviously be like, D-Luke. And then she'd be appreciative then. I feel like she's a friendly drunk and also a friendly, feverish child.
Yeah, if she was like together enough, like if she was coherent enough to sort of realize what it looked like, she would stumble out of bed and like try to get herself together and be like, oh, D-Luke, so yeah, he just came and was like helping, and would just sort of like awkwardly try to explain the situation, even though it's weird because there's not necessarily anything wrong with the situation.
And Kaya's just on the floor like, damn. Just dead now. Still dead asleep. Just fall off. Oh my god.
And D-Luke is like, it's none of my business, honestly. So I was just coming to make sure you're okay. And it looks like you're fine. So I'm going to leave.
So then Jean reaches to grab D-Luke's hand, but she's still so feverish and kind of weak that she starts to fall forward.
Now we're getting into good territory. Let's fucking go.
Well, he's going to catch her, obviously.
No, he's too far away because he was walking away. So she goes to reach out, but her hand gets caught in his belt and she pantses him. No! Yes! Yes! Well, and we know that he's commando.
This story's only going to end one way since Al is on this call.
You realize that, right? It's not wholesome. I mean, it was wholesome. It was a good, like, heart-to-heart friend thing.
But now they're definitely having sex.
Mm-hmm.
If not, he just got pantsed and is highly embarrassed. And it's like, now everyone was going to know I go commando. Like, shit.
Okay, no pantsing. D-Luke has lightning reflexes as the Dark Knight. So even if he's too far away, he's going to catch Jean.
But is he sober?
D-Luke's always sober.
Oh, yeah, he drinks grape juice. That's right.
And this was business.
That's also
for him.
wine. Grape juice is wine.
This
Just
is also
not fermented.
a business trip for him, right? He wasn't at this party to partay. He was there to work. Well, he might be schmoozing a little bit, but he's probably sober. So what is he going to do with Jean?
Well, okay. In that circumstance, of course he's going to catch her.
I feel like Jean would probably cry at that point. All masks are off with Jean. She's like a mess. She's feverish and sick. And she's just like, I'm sorry.
Then she throws up. No, I'm kidding.
End scene.
End scene.
I think he would pick her up and walk her to a different room and put her in bed.
Brings her to Kaya's room.
But like, because he would still be petty enough to make sure that she doesn't stay in the same room as Kaya.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now he's put Jean into Kaya's room and she's tucked in all safe. Does he go back to put Kaya back in Jean's bed since like Jean kind of pushed him out of the bed?
No.
He's on the floor. He's still like
We'll leave him there.
his full fucking, he's broken his nose. He's broken his nose when he fell. He's still fucking asleep. He stays there. Wakes up, will not know what happened. Cannot remember the last hour. No, not last hour. The last fucking day.
All right. End scene.
Oh, I would add one last thing is that D-Luke is going to do a full investigation to find out like if someone drugged or poisoned Jean.
No, Jean, who probably just had a bad fish.
Right.
Bad fish is gonna make you not have a fever. It'll do something else.
You never know. In Mondstadt.
Oh. Someone can't heard. Damn.
Brandon, pick a character.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Dory.
Oh.
Heist
give,
time. Heist time.
give me a second to look at these.
You weren't expecting that one, were
No,
you?
I wasn't.
No one expects Dory. Not even Dory.
I can pick someone else if you want.
No. Okay, this is actually this is gonna be good. Okay, Dory gets invited to enter the Sumeru Academia's Secret Santa.
Okay.
In the Secret Santa, there's a lot of people we know. We got Hytham, we got Kaba, we've got Tignari, Sino, Nilu. There's a ton of people we know involved in this. Dory, for the Secret Santa, gets Sino. But the problem here is that Dory totally forgot about the Secret Santa and only has 1 hour to get Sino something, but only has 100 Mora on them. What is Dory going to do? And what are they going to give Sino at the Secret Santa?
I know exactly what she's going to give him.
Ooh, okay.
And that's going to be a pair of handcuffs because he had her thrown in jail.
Karma, bitch. Karma.
She just arrests him.
Yes.
Like, oh, you thought it was funny.
I mean, I could just see it as like, well, since you love arresting people so much, I
Here's
thought
your
you could use
justice.
these, before I bought my way out of jail within a day.
She totally would buy her way out of jail.
This would be a great gift for him later. Oh, and then she would send him a bill for the handcuff.
The audacity. But also, yeah.
Trick him into buying his own Christmas gift.
Would his reaction be like,
I feel like Sino would be taken aback, but wouldn't look taken aback. He'd be like internally, he'd be like, oh my fucking God, are you for real? But externally, he'd be like, thank you. You're very utilitarian.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Dory's like, in his face.
it's like, get fucked.
Sino's like, most people fear me. She mocks me.
Yeah, exactly.
He's fun to mock, man.
Oh my gosh. I feel like that was such a quick one. End scene. Damn. You guys had that one down pat. All right. Tiff, pick a character.
Ooh, I almost want to stop. I feel like Rosaria would be the obvious one that I would pick. So almost feel like I have to be a pain in your butt. So I'm going to say Shenhe.
Shenhe.
Okay. Hold up.
Hold, please.
Okay. Shenhe gets invited to the Liwei Qixing holiday party and feels obligated to go as she's blown off the last couple of parties they've invited her to. And, Cloud Retainer is really being like, bro, you gotta go. You're trying to assimilate to human life. Get over there. So while at the party, Shenhe drinks a little too much eggnog, not really aware of what eggnog is, and ends up breaking a really expensive vase that they later found out is like an antique from Rex Lapis's personal collection.
Oh no.
And one of the last pieces that they have. Shenhe is witnessed breaking this piece of, expensive pottery by Kaching, Beidou, and Xingqiu, who are all at the party. What happens?
Ooh. Oh man.
Wow.
I can totally see something happening very quickly.
First of all, Beto's drunk already, and Beto's just gonna be like, girl,
Yes.
don't worry about this. I'll get my girlfriend to just replace it.
Yeah. Easy
It's
peasy.
fine.
Since it's not, if it were from Ningguang's collection, that would be a whole scarier story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Beidou would totally just be like, it's fine. Whatever. It's just a piece of junk.
I could see her quietly with her foot just knocking it under something. And Michelle is crying oh my God, no. Because the only one there who probably would actually care that this thing was broken is Xingqiu.
Yeah, he'd be a little snitch though.
He would be a little snitch.
He would totally be a
Find
snitch.
Zhongli. No, he doesn't know that Zhongli is right. Well, he would find somebody and be like, this bitch,
Mhm.
this aunt of my husband decided to break something irreplaceable.
Or would he be protective of her because it's Shang Yun's aunt?
Might get protective in a I gotta make her feel like I'm good for her.
Right.
In this scenario, in my head, they're already married, so he's already locked that down. But in the sense that they weren't married yet, yes.
All right, so
I would worry the most about Kuching being the snitch.
Oh yeah, because she's fat. She's not even there. She's already on her app. Like her, she's already blinked out, ready to tell Ningguang.
I could see like Beto holding Kaching back and being like, bro, calm down.
Right.
So, as you know, Beto and Shenhe are like threatening Kaching's life, and Xingqiu is like trying to piece this item on the ground back together with like hot glue he pulled out of his ass. We have two latecomers to the party who have actually just gotten there. They had some work they had to do first, but Hu Tao and Zhongli show up, and Zhongli sees Shenhe from afar and knows that Shenhe is like Cloud Retrainer's pupil and decides to go say hello when he sees this piece of his personal collection broke on the floor.
Ah, my 8th grade art project. I always hated that. He does not care. He is too old to give a fuck.
He would totally come up with some like, oh, this was, made 3,000 years ago by a Dutchman on a boat, and I hate it.
He'd be like, Osmanthus wine always makes me think of this space.
Yeah.
It was like what held the Osmanthus wine in it.
He'd be so much more mad if you dropped his wine.
Absolutely. Also, maybe that's why he hates this one, because it always made the Asmanthus wine taste like shit. It cured properly and wasn't actually meant for wine. But he's like, it's my 8th grade art project that I wanted to drink wine out of, and like I was impressive.
8th grade.
So we've decided like Zhongli doesn't really care that it's broken.
No, he doesn't care.
But unfortunately, even though Zhongli doesn't care, that's not lightening anyone's mood, because Zhongli is just a funeral parlor attendant. Like, he doesn't matter to them.
Oh, fuck!
So how does this, now Zhongli walks away and Hu Tao's like, oh, you guys are in trouble, bye. If you guys have a funeral, 20% off your casket. And she like runs away. So now how are they going to conclude this? What is their solution here?
Just start kicking those pieces a bit farther away.
I still think Ningguang could find a way to fix it. She has endless resources, so I really think it would come down to like Kuching wanting to sort of tell Ningguang what happened in like a I'm scared way, whereas Beto, there's going to be like a funny moment where Beto has to be like, no, trust me, Kuching, I can make sure that she doesn't care about this.
There's also to break away from the festivities and give a lesson in history. There's a Japanese art that I can't remember the name of, and I'll look up later. But when a piece of porcelain or something breaks, you rebind it and then you cover the cracks in like gold because it's even better with the cracks in it. I don't know. I feel like that would happen. I feel like that would be Ningguang's solution of like, we're just going to dip this thing in gold. Just full on dip it in liquid gold.
That's actually a really funny idea too. Like, not funny, but it's like they're all panicking over there when it's like, we can literally make this more beautiful. But Beto's like too drunk to really properly be explaining it.
Exactly. She's like, bro, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. And like that, she just has that mantra because she's fucked up.
I literally could see Xingqiu fixing it at this point. Like, Xingqiu gets what Beto is trying to put down.
He's like, yeah, I got you. I'll figure this shit out, man.
And, Shenhe and Kaching are getting ready to, like, kill each other, and Xingqiu disappears and comes back, like, 30 minutes later. They're still arguing, like, at each other's throats, and he's like, look! It's bound back together with melted gold. And they just put it back like nothing ever happened. And we'll see if Ningguang notices in the morning, and if Beto remembers why.
Yeah, and I think Xingqiu would have a moment where he realizes that Shenhe's upset about it is more existential than monetary, because she's going to be like, oh, I just broke this stupid vase and people are acting like this is a big deal. Is this like a part of human interaction that I need to worry about? Like, but maybe I'm just really not cut out for this and I need to go back to like living in Cloud Retainer's basement or whatever. And
so sad.
And Xingqiu's like, oh God, this is my boyfriend's aunt. And I already know that she's like really feeling hesitant about like social interaction. So I could see him being like, no, look, we can just do this. And it's going to be fine. And sort of nudging, coaching. Like, stop it.
He like summons a water dagger and puts it at her back and is like, shut the fuck up, ka-ching.
It's like, you better not tap.
Nothing.
It's also like, Shenhe has been blowing off all the parties too. So now she's like finally going to a party and she broke something. Like, God damn it.
Or maybe Xingqiu could even just be like, we can use my dad's connections to take care of this. And
That's
that could be
true
when Beto's like, oh no, we can use my girlfriends.
Exactly.
So many powerful people in this related to this little group.
Yeah.
All right. And scene, I think we figured it out. Al, we're going to come back to you. We have 2 more scenarios left. I think we could get them both in. Give me a character, Al.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Okay. Here we go. We're going with Yai.
Yai Miko.
Yai Miko!
All right. Oh, this is literally perfect. So there were 2 left. One is kind of more of like a niche, so it could be kind of weird depending on who you guys pick for the last one. But all right, Inazuma is having a holiday marketplace full of outdoor shops, dining, games, the whole 9 yards. They're really going at it. Everything's open again. They're having a good old time. It's like the Iridori Festival, but holiday themed. So Yai Miko decides to go to the holiday market and drags A out with her. And while the 2 are there, they're shopping or whatever, and they realize that they are under the mistletoe, and they get caught under the mistletoe by Ayato, who has had too much to drink and pesters them to kiss. What happens? Now, I do want to throw out there, I'm going to add this in. It wasn't in my original scenario, but Ayato is there with a very sober Toma, who is a little embarrassed by Ayato's behavior. He hasn't seen Ayato drunk like this before. So you have Ayato pestering Yai and Raiden to kiss under the mistletoe, with Toma being like, please stop, please. So what happens?
You know what Yai would do? Don't get me wrong. I want Yai and Raiden to kiss, but because Ayato is being that way, I feel like she would just drag him under and just force him to kiss her.
Oh my God, Ayato and Yai kiss?
Yeah, and she's like, you gotta kiss. Shut the fuck up.
And then Toma sheds a tear in the corner. He's like, no, that should have been me. I feel like Yai would give away kisses the same way Lisa would, to make that clear.
I feel like she would definitely do something sneaky. And I would love it if she was like, oh, all right, we're going to, why don't you step in a little closer and get a closer look at this? And then like gets basically Toma to bring him closer. And then she and A flash away with like their insane magical abilities. And then suddenly Ayato and Toma are left there. And she's like, rules are rules.
Yes. Okay, I like that better.
And she kind of like makes him eat his own words, and like they end up having to kiss. She's or it's like a if we do it, you have to do it type of deal.
I love that.
Yeah, I'll show you mine if you show us.
I'll show you my gay kiss if you show us yours.
Exactly.
Do you think that Ayato and Toma are like officially in a relationship in this scenario, or do you think they're still in that pining phase?
Oh, it's so like Ayato has been giving him the hardest of hints.
It's hard to tell. They have their power dynamic is so off that it's like, would they want people to know?
That's also true.
But I feel like Toma is so dense that he might think like, oh, this is just appreciation from Ayato. Or is he like second guessing those actions? And Ayato's just like flirting fucking hard. And Toma's like, well, he flirts like this with everybody. And it's like, no, he actually doesn't though. But he thinks he does. It's that type shit.
I could see Yai playing with Toma's head and being like, just in order to like get him to take the plunge with Ayato and being like, I mean, gosh, I would sure hate to see it if, you damaged the relationship between your boss Ayato and the Raiden Shogun.
Oh.
And sort of make Toma feel like he has to kiss Ayato.
Like you have to, at this point it's about, saving your part of the tri-commission at the
Yeah, and Toma's like sweating bullets.
like, oh fuck.
Have you ever seen that meme of Child where like his eyes are going back and forth and he's like nervously smiling? Like just put Toma in that instead. He's like, ah! And then he just hears like echoing in the back of his head, like Ayaka being like, just go for it, Toma. You can't know until you try. Toma's like, okay, I can do this. So Toma and Ayaka, oh god.
Whoa, that's a whole different thing.
Toma and Ayato kiss now. What happens after that? How does that go?
I could see Toma being like so into it, so much more into it than he thought it would be. And Ayato's just like, all right. And then
Full on.
A is like, Yai, what are you doing? And then Yai is like, that would have been way more fun to watch if it were Ito and Goro.
Oh shit.
Oh, no.
That would have been.
And Yai's also thinking in her head. She's like keeping it all in her head, like writing it down because she's like, this would make a great light novel.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. She's like, time to write some smut.
Check out next year's big book at the Iridori Festival, A Tale of Boss and Servant.
Oh, she would totally make Goro like recreate that scene.
Oh
with Ito.
My god. Yes.
Goru would run away. He'd
So
be like,
bad.
I can't be near you.
He's like, thanks for the new book. Bye-bye.
What's the Goro's character's name? Miss Hana?
Miss Hina.
Hina, yeah.
Oh my god.
End scene. We end with a new light novel.
A new light novel.
All right. So we only have one scenario left. And Tiff, I'm going to ask a big favor of you. Oh, no. It's actually B. I'm going to ask one big favor of you. Whoever you pick can't be from Inazuma.
Cannot be from Inazuma. Okay.
No, because I don't think they would do what this prompt is.
Oh no.
So pick any character that's not in Inazuma.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Miss Mona.
Oh, okay. This is perfect. You set it up perfectly. Mona and Albedo go to chop down a Christmas tree for Mondstadt on Dragonspine. While there, they get stuck in a crazy and unexpected snowstorm. The two decide that their best bet is to camp out on Dragonspine for the night until the storm stops. Unfortunately for them, they are nowhere near Albedo's camp, and to be honest, they really can't tell where they are because of the storm. And even more unfortunately for them, they have only brought one tent with them as they weren't anticipating the storm, and they only brought one in case of quote-unquote emergency as per the Adventurers Guild handbook. What happens?
So they have to share a tent.
Yes. And it's big enough for both of them to fit in the tent. Like, it's not like, like a...
Like laying down side by side.
You need to find that hot spring that Eula and Amber always go to.
Right.
That hot spring.
So what happens if they find the hot spring?
Naked time.
Oh my gosh.
Look!
Not even
what
wasting
other
a minute.
scenario would happen in this situation? You have to keep warm somehow. It's the best way to do it. You have a hot spring. You're not going to get there in your clothes because if you come out of the hot spring into the cold, you're going to get hypothermia very quickly compared to if you were just in dry clothes. You have to be pragmatic when it comes to a snowstorm.
Well, here are my things based on these two characters. Though. They're both very smart, intellectual people. They're also both kind of awkward people.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently it's known that these two get lunch together, so they seem friendly enough. I'm sure neither one of them wanted to be going to Dragonspine to cut down a tree. They're probably both annoyed that they had to go to begin with, and they both have better things to be doing. So maybe they wouldn't find the hot spring. Let's go back to the tent. Also, you have to remember that Albedo can make whatever he wants with his art.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the presumption based on his idol animations is that he always has his notepad on him.
Yeah, couldn't he just draw a cabin?
Yeah, but the question is, does he want to?
Is this just going to be him experimenting, deciding if, how do humans react in extreme weather conditions?
Yeah. Let me see How cold she can get.
I love the idea of him, sort of experimenting, but like really just trying to get some information out of Mona since she can allegedly see the future.
Ooh.
And divinate the stars and everything. So I would imagine him taking advantage of them having to be in like close quarters together to sort of start picking her brain and being like, well, like what do you see when you read my future?
And she also knows the other lady of Alice's coven or whatever fucking witchy tea party shit that is.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, he might be trying to find dirt for gold.
I don't know if he's looking for dirt for gold. Such sinister thoughts.
We never decided if this was the true albedo or sus beto.
No, I said albedo.
Well, what if he's just picking Mona's brain about, because they are like sort of picking each other's brains about, like he's trying to find out more about gold from her and she's trying to find out more about her boss from him.
And even Alice too.
Yeah, but maybe they don't really know for sure like how loyal they are to their masters.
Yeah, like these two have had lunch a few times together, but they don't know each other that well.
Right. So I could see Albedo being like, maybe she knows things about gold that gold didn't share with me, and maybe I can find out more about my destiny and what I'm supposed to be doing. And Mona's like, maybe his shady ass master Gold can tell me more about the old hag and what she's been up to. So I could see them both sort of like trying to sort of outsly each other and like finding out information from each other.
Okay, so the two of them, they find a cave really close by. So they're able to get out of the snow. They're able to build a fire. They're not necessarily worried about building their tent yet. And they're going to figure that out later. They've been talking for a while. And Mona says something. She actually has a voice line, I think, about this, where she says that she admires Albedo. So now Mona is like, I really admire you, Albedo. Like, you're like zest for what you do. And blah, blah, blah. And they're kind of talking more now about their personal stuff. They're not as dedicated to the work talk.
Mm-hmm.
And it's time to build their tent and get to bed because the snow is still going. There's no discussion. Just a quick question. Are they going to share a tent or is Albedo going to make a separate tent?
Here's the thing. I think they're going to be too busy talking to even care.
Okay, so
I think he's going to want to be in the same tent just this way, continue his experiments. But because he's a man of science,
okay,
alchemy, he would know that being together would keep them warmer.
All right. So they go into the same tent. They keep talking. Eventually, Mona kind of, stumbles asleep. Albedo then falls asleep afterwards. They wake up the next morning. The snow is over. They bring the tree back to Mondstadt and they run into Jean. And Jean asks them how Dragonspine was. What do they tell her?
Informative.
She'll ask where the tree is. ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde está? Where's this fucking tree?
They're like, don't worry, the tree's in the middle of Mondstadt by the fountain. We Gucci, we got it up. The idea is that they're like, it was very informative, is what they tell Jean. That's what you guys want to go with?
Mm-hmm. Straight to the point.
Yeah, I don't really like...
They don't complain about each other or anything?
I mean, I feel like Mona would be like, Master Jean... I do expect extra payment for what happened.
For the inconvenience.
Right. I do think that they would become like much better friends, especially if they sort of admitted to each other that like their masters are sort of sus potentially, and that they want to know more from each other and that they would like to learn from each other and in a way understand each other. I think that their little overnight could actually be a good sort of introduction to like a closer friendship for them.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you get stuck like in a 4-hour car ride with someone that like you kind of know, but you don't know that well. And you would hope to be taking like the car ride back with someone else, but then you got stuck with this person and you're like, all right. And then all of a sudden, like 3 hours in, you're like pouring your heart out to this person. Like you guys have known each other for 30 years and you're like,
right.
That was the two of them. I feel like as they're like telling Jean how informative it was, Kaya kind of walks by in the background like, ugh, so boring. I should have gone on this trip instead.
That would have ended so differently with him and Albedo.
Well, Mona was our character though, so it would have been Mona and Kaya.
Oh, it would not be as fun. In fact, it would have been like a rival arc. They would just be enemies at the end of that.
Probably.
Those were all my scenarios. So we got through them all. I'm very excited.
Fun.
Yeah, a little something different for the holidays. I also think it's fun because we talk a lot about like headcanons and having our own ideas of like things characters do in off time when we don't see them on the screen. So it's fun to kind of think about that a little bit more in terms of their lore and who they are. I think you guys hit it all on the head. I will say Dory definitely threw me for a loop. I was not expecting Dory. I'm surprised that Ito didn't make it in, though. I was surprised. I expected an Ito.
That was just too easy. If I was gonna pick two things, it would have been Jean and Ito, and I already picked Jean, so it had to be different. We could have gone with Al Haytham. That would have been too raunchy.
Al Haytham goes to the holiday market with Kava. They've lost both sets of their keys. But have they really? Tignari has stolen them because he's sick and tired of hearing them pining over one another and just wants to see them get together already.
That is a smut I will write.
I just always imagine seeing Tignari. I see like a lot of really funny comics online where it's like Tignari and Sino are in like a very wonderful, healthy relationship, and they just see Kava and Haytham the whole time, and they're like, they just need to get it together already. They just need to figure it out. So I like the idea that they're wingmanning for the two of them. But my extra headcanons aside, I think that is all the time we have today for our very merry episode of Tales of Teyvat. We hope everyone has a really great holiday season and a happy new year. We will be putting out another episode before the end of the year next week where we talk about Dvalin the Dragon in Mondstadt.
Dvalin has fallen.
We get songs from Al.
Yeah!
He did.
He did fall. He took a hard one there.
I mean, he's constantly falling in the middle of that tower.
True.
Look, man, dragons can't lift their weight sometime. That poor baby.
Travelers, please feel free to give us a follow on Instagram, Tales of Teyvat Pod, or on Twitter, Tales of Teyvat, to let us know what you think about today's little scenarios and headcanons. You can also feel free to send us an email at talesoftevatpod@gmail.com to let us know what you thought about today's fun little experience and experiment. And also let us know what content and what ideas you would like to hear us talk about on the podcast in future episodes. Until then, safe journeys, traveler. We'll see you next week.
Bye, ye merry nerds.